It's always like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video, it's time to take a close look at another product from Anbernic. Today, it's the RG353V, a new model that they released, and I think it's from some time ago when I'm making this video. But Anbernic is one of those brands that release a lot of different handhelds nowadays. I must say they are like a little bit better quality when it comes, or sometimes like a lot better, than it comes to these typical Chinese handhelds I've reviewed here on the channel. But this version, this RG353V, has like, yeah, kind of confusing situation. I understand there were like two versions, doesn't even matter. When it comes to this device, it does remind me of the Game Boy Classic. Dat was ik niet goed, ja, dat doesn't matter. Ja, dat maakt wel uit. Dat maakt wel uit, Richard. Was dat niet zoiets van... But if I recall it correctly, the RG353V also comes in two kinds of versions. It's all super confusing, not even to talk about all the freaking models they released in the last couple of years. I must say that they try to improve it, but I wish they like released less of these handhelds. So overall, this is a 128 gigabyte model. Then we have like the black translucent, we have the gray, the white, and the purple transparent version. We have like all kinds of versions. The box itself are like the same stuff that we have seen before, but let's talk about the overall, let's say, the specs. Let's do a little bit of a wicked nerdy time. The device itself does have the option for dual boot, Android 11 and Linux. We'll mainly focus on Linux, or better said, like emulation performance. It comes with the Rockchip 3566. That's a quad-core 64-bit Cortex A55 processor running on 1.8 GHz. It has 2 GB of RAM, that is LPDDR4. Then we have like basically the option for 2 or multiple SD cards. I think it's pretty damn cool. So what I do like about it, this thing comes with a 640 by 480 multi-touch display. So we have like a lot of different new options while you're looking at the previous ones. And when it comes to the Android games, but also up to the emulation, there is so much stuff you can play. Lasting around 6 hours with a 3200 mAh battery. So this thing comes in all kinds of colors, but the one I basically picked up is for like nostalgia reasons. I want to have like this old school Game Boy, I say classic feeling, and that is what we're going to get with this one. So when you're looking at the overall quality of the device itself, I'm always like, in general, very satisfied with the thing they are delivering. Another thing I'm very happy with, that they basically made the choice to put the D-pad over here. Sometimes you try to switch it out. I'm not a big fan of it. Like the two analog sticks over here are not best positioned. Personally, like I would not going to even like use this. So the ABXY over here, I must say I personally really love the touch itself. It does have an okay travel. But I must say the button quality is very cool. Then we have like a function button over here, select start, the speaker in the middle. Then we have like two analog sticks and comes also with a click. At the back they're going to get like say the same shoulder buttons. I think it was the Powkiddy that we have talked about over here. So basically when you're holding the handheld you can press them, well, when I say like super easy, but they're like easier to access. Then over here have like the two SD slots over here. They were like the reset. I'm very happy they put them on the outside. If needed, we can just press it fairly easy. And of course the on and off switch. At the top we're going to get ourselves the HDMI, the Type-C connection, and then we're having like the headphone jack. I think it's pretty cool they still implemented over here. So let's power on the machine. The machine from the future. Yeah. Another feature I really love about it, that we do have like just a volume control, or volume rocker, they love to say it. So it's something they don't like implement in every handheld, but I'm always happy that they do, because if you need to adjust it, it's way easier, and in my opinion way more convenient, just on selecting like a certain button or combination. So we do have like a very nice layout, what you can see already over here. So we have like a shitload of stuff that we can play on this thing. And the first thing that I really love about it is the display. This looks so cool. It looks so nice. And that is what we do get like in the new generation of devices nowadays. But when you're looking at the gameplay and what we can play, yeah, we're mainly going to focus on the higher end stuff and implement some old school stuff. But there is indeed like so much that we can play with this. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm pressing the function button over here. What we're going to get is getting into RetroArch, and the option that we're going to get is absolutely great. We can close the content, take a screenshot, but I have like the option to make a quick load, quick save, and mess around with some things like in the option over here with the audio, video, artwork, you name it. You can change it all out, or just go out of the game and go back to the main menu. Okay, we're going to start off with some Mortal Kombat 2, one of my favorite games to test out. And we do have reached the point with these processors that are inside the machine that we can actually run these games pretty damn good. Oh, you got me. Also the D-pad is absolutely great for finding games. Have no problems getting my moves out. You know how this works. Just punch him in the balls. Punch him in the balls. That's the way how you just need to beat the game. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. Yeah. But despite the resolution of the display, which sometimes we do have like some black bars around it, what you can see over here, but that is something I personally don't really mind. Oh yeah, Hadouken baby, Hadouken. Okay, so I want to try out some more demanding games of the N64. I would not be surprised it's going to be like a mixed performance. It's always what you're going to get with these devices. But the overall performance, it's way better and just improved when you're looking at the first generation of devices. I don't know if this is going to be actually like playable, because you can see like it's absolutely like not the best configuration that you want. So basically they implemented the D-pad into the right joystick. But no, yeah, you know, like playing N64 on this is absolutely not my favorite thing to do. No. Especially when the positioning of the two joystick. Nah. But the overall performance, what you can see over here, it seems to be running just pretty damn good for a device like this. So, yeah. So another thing I really love about these devices, when you're getting into the menu itself, you have so much stuff you can basically like mess and tinker with. To begin with, like here having the right resolution, but you even can mess around with the resolution itself if you want to get something differently. You have like the aspect ratio that you can set, but also if you want to run on full speed or just on normal speed, everything can be changed out over here and you can just tinker with it if you like to. Another game I love to test is of course Cruise in the USA, because it's a quite difficult game to emulate, but the thing is that's also like one of my favorite games to play. I actually played it so much as a kid. I have no idea which button it is, so oh man. It's still hiccups, but take consideration if you're going to be like looking into some, let's say, launch titles, you will get some way better performance in general. But again, like, the configuration needs to be changed out, because I don't know why they placed the freaking like acceleration on the left. Or I said like the left shoulder button. Alright, next up, let's try some Dreamcast. The reason why I just wanted to check it out for you guys, just see how it actually works. One of my favorite systems to play on the go. But the thing is, with PlayStation 1, we do have reached the point that a lot of these handhelds will run it perfectly. It's more like the question, how comfortable is it? So I already mentioned like the D-pad is amazing on this thing, so that is not the problem over here. If I want to do some super moves, that is going to be no problem whatsoever. Then we're of course having like the great resolution for playing some PlayStation games on this device. It's absolutely a great experience.
Get ready for the next battle.
Indeed, get ready for the next stuttering battle. No, but the thing is with PlayStation Portable, it's like, I'm not a big fan of like the two black bars we're going to get at the bottom and the top, but so out of the box, let's see how it runs. Not bad at all. But I think if you want to play PlayStation Portable, it's a very cool addition, but in my opinion there are way better options that basically don't give you like the black bars. So let's go into the settings and just mess with it, because here you can always like mess around with it if you have like some issues. For example, this thing doesn't have like frame skip enabled, so that's quite interesting. So this thing is capable of running so much more than your, let's say, previous models of the handhelds. Rendering resolution will be 1x PSP. So there we have like, you can also like again like tinker with it if you just want to have like more and better performance. So let's continue to give you like an FPS count. See, it's not running on unstable 60, but when you're not having like the FPS enabled, you don't really notice it. But again, if you're going to add like in God of War to this, it's not going to be playable. But when you're going to remove the SD card, you will get the boot up into Android. The first thing I've noticed, like, wow, it takes a really long time to get booted into Android. So when this thing finally freaking boots up, you can get into the Android itself. I think it's pretty damn cool, and you can just mess around with it. It's kind of funny that they show GameCube and Ether SX2 like PlayStation 2, but in my opinion, those things are absolutely unplayable. We just need to have more juice. But there is not a lot of on here. So even if you can implement the Play Store and you can log in, that would be cool, because if you're going to do that, you can mess around with some Minecraft and some other games. But again, like for me, like the screen itself is just way too tiny, and that is a little bit of a thing that I'm more like, yeah, it's cool to have dual, but for me, yeah, what's the point? It's about retro games, right? Well, let's talk about the device itself. I'm just going to be honest, like this is not one of my favorite devices at this moment. And the reason is because for me, my hands, it's just too small. And I noticed like I need to cramp up my hands. So it's for me like not super comfortable. I really like the D-pad of this thing. It got some amazing audio for this tiny speaker. Beautiful display. They did absolutely a great job there. But again, like when you're looking at the overall performance, it's a little bit similar to what I've seen before with these handhelds. PlayStation Portable is basically like being on the edge when it comes to emulation performance. But still we have like a lot of stuff we can play. And overall, it's quite surprising. Like they released... They released another handheld. Well, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments what you think of this device. And it would be great to see you in the next video. Oh, by the way, and let me know which handheld do you own and what is your favorite one.